Hey there, how you doing? Dave Allred, the real barman from barpatrol.net. Welcome to the TouchBistro POS cloud reporting dashboard demo. That's a mouthful, which is the back-end sales reports I'm going to show you right now. This is part two. Part one was the front end, which is the iPad, front of the house, being bartenders and servers, how they ring everything in, the functionality, but it's also for managers and owners. The admin stuff you can do in there is quite incredible. You can get in there and change all the pricing, add mods, you can move tables around on your map. You don't have to go to the back office and log in and do all that stuff. The ease of use and the aesthetics and everything about that system, the way it flows, is just really amazing. So go check out that demo. I got a card popping up right now, and then come back here and watch the back-end cloud reporting. I'm sorry it took me so long to get this second video out. I got people asking me, Dave, you said you're gonna do the dashboard video, where is it? And you know, I got a life too. I got a wife, I got 2 kids, I coach basketball. It's not all bar and restaurant all the time, even though it is most of the time, but here I am, so let's get to it. And then remember, at any time you can click the link below this video, go to TouchBistro and sign up for a demo with one of their awesome reps. I'm gonna walk you through the demo on the back end step by step, but they're gonna be able to answer any questions you have and go into even deeper detail. That's one of the things that's really impressed me with TouchBistro from the beginning, is their support is awesome. So they'll be able to answer your questions and show you how they can customize TouchBistro to your business. So I'm super excited to show you the back-end cloud reporting with TouchBistro, just based on the ease of comprehension and looking at these reports. And if you've ever run back-end reports on these more archaic systems like Aloha and a Micros that you see here, and I'm not here to rip on any other POS systems. I've never built one. It always cracks me up when people are like stupid computer, or they're jamming their finger into their phone because it won't send a text or whatever. It's like, well, you go build one if it's so easy, right? So I'm not here to rip on them, but if you've ever used any of these systems, which I have, and you get into the back end, it's like you have to get the user guide out, and it's like learning to fly a fighter jet by the time you're done, and you just slam your head into the keyboard from usability frustration. And so you're really going to be impressed by how simple these reports are to use. These are like the layman's reports for simple people like me. All right, and they're going to give you actionable insights into your business. And by actionable, I mean you can look at this aggregated data and make actionable adjustments to what's going on to increase your sales and to cut losses in areas that are not performing well for you. And that's simple things, little things that add up big over time. All right, so let's get to it. Let's log in here. I know you're probably like, all right, we get it. It's easy to use. How about you frickin' show us already? So when you log in for the first time, it defaults to this dashboard right here. And it's going to give you an overview of the business, which is really cool here. And then we'll go over all these other reports we have over here, but this is going to give you an overview, and this is for the week over here. So you can select any time period you want for the month, the week, 6 months, or you can go back to a certain day, like how did we do on St. Patrick's Day last year, so you can plan for staffing or whatever. I've chosen 1 week right here, and this is the aggregated data for the week. And this is a demo account, so some numbers have been thrown in here. They may not be perfect, so don't email me and be like, that number can't be true. All right, the numbers have been thrown in here so we can see the pie charts, so we can see how it works and how you can analyze your data so you can really make adjustments in your restaurant. So let's take a look. It starts with the net sales over here. This can give you an overview of what you sold during the week, how many tips were rang in, and what your gratuities were. This average spend per seat is really valuable. Obviously, if you can get that up, your sales are going to go up, but it breaks it down to per person how much you're selling, and you can make adjustments to how do we get that individual per person amount up so we can get our overall sales up. So that's a great metric right there. Over here's your customers, how many parties came in, the bills that were rang up. Again, seats is individual people, how many actually sat down during the week. And then as we scroll down, we get top sales categories, all right? And we get, you can adjust and customize these any way you want. They have food, alcohol, merchandise, and gifts right here. And then you have your little pie chart. And you can see this big green curve right here. And that's because food is 76% of your total sales here, and alcohol is only 20%. And if this stat is true, this is right off the bat, you can see we need to get our alcohol sales up. Anyone who runs a bar or restaurant knows that your major margins come from your alcohol. Should be about a 79-80% margin if you're doing it right. And food is more like 68% margin on average. And this is where all your money comes from, your big margins. So you need to get out another cocktail menu, put out an ad on Facebook, whatever you got to do to boost those alcohol sales. Right off the bat, we can see a result that we need to change. And then we come here to top shifts. It has your top 5 hours for employees over here. That's how they order them based on how many hours they work. But once again, we can see something really quick here. We see June has worked the most hours. She's a workhorse. She's brought in almost $5,700 in sales. But check out Lucy down here. She's a baller. She does 36 hours, brought in $9,100, a few thousand more than June. So we either need to find out what we definitely need to find out what Lucy's doing. Maybe get rid of June. She seems to be sucking up time and just letting her table sit or whatever, or not upselling. I don't know what she's doing, but this metric right here says that June is the weak link in this whole thing, even though she's working the most hours. Then we get over to tender types. Breaks it down by what type of payments they're making and what percentage. Scrolling down, we go to top menu categories. They have it broken down here: main dishes, appetizers, beer, vodka, wine. Again, fully customizable, but you can see the percentage of what's being sold in every single category and how you might want to boost different things. Top discounts and voids. Again, the top one here you can see is a Monday to Thursday app special. This is a special they run. That's their 56% of their discounts come from that. But then you have mistakes on here, wrong table, VIP comp. Again, any way you want to categorize this to really see what's going on and where the discounts are coming from. And then finally, on the last one on this overview dashboard of the top menu items, broken down from your top sales, and they get lower as you go down. Obviously, we're keeping the bacon burger on the menu and the pulled pork, pasta clams. These ones are your top ones. In a minute, I'm going to get to a report which drills down even further so you can get all the way down to the bottom to see what's not selling, so you can get those things the hell out of there and try some new things out. So that's your overview dashboard. Now let's move on to these other more detailed reports. And actually, before we go to weekly targets really quick, let's look at the settings over here. In your settings tab, when you first set up, you can set up the time period from when your sales start for the day, and what day you want to start on. So you're going to run it Sunday through Saturday, Monday through Sunday, however you want to do it. And then from here, you can choose your time period. I'm going to choose Los Angeles because I'm on the West Coast. And then what time do you open here? So let's say we open 11 a.m. It's going to run your sales data report for that day from 11 a.m. on, say, Sunday through 10:59 a.m. on Monday, and then it's going to start over again. So even if you're open till 2 a.m., it's going to get all that data. It's not going to switch at midnight, so that's all going to be there. And then it has down here lengthened days, your base hours, and your premium pay multiplier. This is basically your overtime. So they're saying in 7 days, if they work more than 40 hours, you're going to pay time and a half. That's what that metric is saying. And then same thing here. Your hours per day, 8 hours, anytime you go over 8 hours, you're going to pay time and a half. Number 2 setup, if they work over 10 hours, they're going to get paid double time. So you have to set this up based on the laws in your state. And then, of course, you can change your password down here. That's just quick settings in the beginning. How easy is that? You can just go in here and set up all your overtime, all of your time settings right here, and you're all set to go. And then we can head back to the main dashboard now. And with that said, let's head to weekly targets. I really love these metrics on this page here. It starts on top with key targets. And with this is forecasting. It's kind of like when you do budgeting. Budgeting is very valuable in a restaurant. This is not budgeting, but it is predicting sales in the coming week. So if you have past sales in your POS report, you can kind of judge what they might be, and maybe you want to push it a little bit. Have a goal to set a little higher. If you're starting from scratch, put something in there, try to hit those goals, and then week by week, you'll get a better idea of what your weekly sales are, and then you can try to push it a little bit. Use this system, like I said, these actionable results to try to make your restaurant more profitable. So right off the bat, we see here, this is for the week, and if you go into the edit button, you can see that their weekly target sales is $40,000 for the week. Their weekly customer target is $1,400. So that's about 200 customers per day. This last metric they'll figure on their own based on your sales. So you can raise or lower this and then hit save. And basically what it's telling you is you're 60% of the way to your sales target. Now this depends on what day you're on, right? If you're on day 2 or 3 of the week, you're looking pretty damn good on hitting your sales target. If you're on day 5 right now, you're in trouble because you've been doing about what's that? About $4,800 per day. And these last 2 days, you got to do about $8,000 a day. Now, maybe those last 2 days are Friday and Saturday because you started on Sunday, and maybe that's very realistic that you'll hit $8,000 a day because it's the weekend. But basically, you can use this to determine how far along you are. Do you got to pick things up? Do you got to make some adjustments? This is a super valuable metric to see where you are during the week. And then again, this is your customer target. How many have you come in? How many seats have you hit? They're 82% of the way. And then this is your total spend target. You want, their goal here is 2857. Their average customer spend is 20.73. They're 72% of the way there, but they got to jack that amount up. So that helps you during the week to see if you're hitting your target numbers or not, and see if you need to get a move on or if you're doing okay. If we scroll down here again, we have sales by category. Again, we kind of went over that. They have another one. They have that same metric here. This is average dining duration. You know, a lot of POS systems just don't have metrics like this. And in here, you can see how long your guests have been dining and what your turnover rate is. And you can also see this on the iPad. On the iPad, on the tables, you can see how long they've been there. Do you need to get them moving along? We don't want to rush anyone, right? We want to give great service, but we want to be efficient. We don't want to leave them alone. We want to make sure they have everything they need. You guys need anything else? And then hopefully, you know, they move along without us rushing them, because table turnover is where the money comes in. It comes in for the business. It comes in for service. If we have a big wait at the front and we're not turning tables, we're losing money. Maybe they go to another restaurant and they're not coming here. So this tells you how each server is basically doing on average dining duration. And what this is down here is you have this list here. The rock stars are on top. So it goes best to worst down here. If this is in the minus, this is really good. So you might have your average turnover rate being like an hour and a half. Let's say you set it at that. Lucy's doing a great job because during the week, she's ahead of schedule. All right, she's got people out. She still has an hour and a half to spare based on she's gotten people out of there in time. Sally, she's right on there. All these people are kind of right. You know, they're right on pace, except for this admin, whoever this is 39 hours behind on turnover rate. So whoever this person is they're the weak link. They're a piece of crap. Got to get them out of there. We got to train better. We got to do something to help admin out and see what Lucy's doing. Lucy's been the rock star throughout these metrics. And then again over here, the average spend, what each guest is spending with these servers at their table. The higher the average spend, the greater the server's doing in getting them to upsell. And sometimes it's based on blind luck, right? Maybe Mary's just had people come in who got a lot of money and they're buying lobster and filet mignon and all that. Sometimes it's based on luck, but over time, it's going to pan out. The better servers are going to have the better average spend. And again, Mary here has $30 per person. Lucy's right in there with 24. Sally down here is flunking with $11.71 average spend. She's got to pick it up. Let's move on down to upsells. This shows you the most upsells going on. A lot of this stuff is things that aren't real upsells. They're more modifiers. Like, you know, do you want it medium well? Do you want it scrambled? Other ones are charged upcharges. Those are the ones you really want to look at. Who's upcharging? What are our best upcharges? You kind of ignore the ones that don't have prices on there. Discounts and voids by server. Again, Mary's rocking it right here with check averages per person. She's failing over here. She's got a bunch of discounts and voids. We need to find out what's going on. She's either a ding dong and doesn't know what she's doing, or there's some fraud going on here. She's comping stuff or saying that, you know, the guest didn't like it, and she's doing something shady if she has discounts and voids week after week, or she's a ding dong, or she needs to be trained better. So you can see how many discounts per week is going on. And then what we have over here is the average spend by time of day. And you can see it broken down by day here. And these little marks here, the darker the mark, the more money that was made during that time period. So the lighter marks, you can look in here and see what's going on. These are the real dead times. And, you know, sometimes you can use this even for when to open your restaurant. You know, why are you opening at 9 a.m. when no one's really coming in until 11? Why are we staffing people? Maybe we need to change that policy. And you see like a white mark right here. This is on Tuesday at 7 p.m. that should be a pretty good time. No one's coming in on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Maybe we got to throw a trivia night or a karaoke night, some sort of promotion to get people in on these days. This is powerful stuff. This tells you what's going on, as opposed to going through your day and your week and you're like, oh, we're kind of slow on Tuesday. Wonder what was going on there. And I think we're slow Wednesday. I can't really remember. This tells you exactly what's going on. This is hard data to help you make decisions and sit down with your management team and say, hey, look at these white spots. We got to fill these in right here. All right, dark spots are doing great. What are we doing during these dark spots that are getting people in so well? So average spend per day, very valuable. Here's your tips by server, based on their credit card tips, also gratuity. Sales by section just being which register and which area of the restaurant is being rung up, which is getting the most. And then we have our labor costs over here by day. Again, this little bar chart is pretty cool. You can see what's going on. Like, why are our labor costs so high on Wednesday? Are our sales so great then? Do we have a promotion going that we have so many sales and people coming in that we need that much labor on Wednesday? Why is Wednesday more than Friday and Saturday? Okay, that's ridiculous. We need to cut labor on Wednesday. We have way too many people staffed. Again, another metric that helps you run your bar and restaurant better. So that's the weekly targets page, one of my favorites. Let's move on to the revenue section. So the revenue tab has 3 drop downs below it. And we'll start with gross margin by day. This has bar charts on here that has total labor cost, total menu item cost, net sales, and your discounts all showing here in a bar graph, and then it breaks it down individually down here. At any time, you can take any of these away. Like net sales is such a big graph. Let's see what happens when we take that away. We can get a little closer view on all these other metrics. And if you hover over any of the colors, it'll show you exactly your total menu item cost for March 7th right here. And then if you click it back on, it all goes back on. You can stack it. You can group it like this individually. Some kind of cool things going on right here. Now, when we look down here, there's a lot of data to go through. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. But one of the things you can do is you can order this. It defaults alphabetically, usually over here on the left. And you'll see on these other reports, what I like to do is do most to least so I can categorize it. So let's see what our biggest margin day was. And what we're going to do is click it twice, because when I click it once, it goes least to most. I like to click it twice because now the highest margin is on top, which is Saturday, then Friday, Wednesday, Tuesday. It orders it by most to least. I like to do that on all the reports and kind of see how we did on each day. And what the margin is it's taking into account your menu item cost and your labor cost, subtracting that from your net sales. All right, you get your gross sales, you take away your discounts, that's your net sales. And then you subtract your menu item cost, which you can set up inside your recipes when you first set up TouchBistro. And this is basically costing out all of your menu items down to tomato sauce, cheese, what goes on a pizza. You cost all that out, and you know exactly what a pizza costs based in here. And it'll tell you exactly how much you spent on each item. Item costing is really valuable. And when you set all that up, it'll show you right here how much this costs on Saturday. You spent this much on Saturday on menu and this much on labor. So here's what your margin is on Saturday. Super valuable. So that's the gross margin by day. Let's head to the drill down report. And you'll see when you click on here that there's just a lot of data. If you scroll down, you can scroll down forever, and it seems like a little overwhelming. But at the top here, when I started playing with this, I saw that you can do check marks up here, which I really like, because you can just take a bunch of them off and it'll just show you that one at a time. And then you can add as you go or whatever you want. So let's start with section. You can see cash register, main. These are just the different areas of the restaurant. And then again, the darker the square, the more sales that were done at that time. And you can see based on time of day what you're selling the most of. So that's based on section. Now we get into the more fun stuff. Here's the sales category: alcohol, food, gift cards, merchandise. And again, you can see these two hot spots here. This is food at 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. During the day, which is probably not realistic in real life. You're not gonna. That's right in between lunch and dinner. But who knows? Maybe they had some event coming up and they did a bunch of sales and they were preparing for it in the nighttime. But you can see it picks up again here at 8 or 9 o'clock. The point is you can use this color coding to see what's hot and what's not during that time of day. And then you can either add menu category or you can take this off and do it individually. I really like doing them individually. You can always add them. And then you can see by category what's going on during the day. And again, it's kind of even throughout here, but you have some of these white spots. Again, this is kind of like the heat map that we saw before. all broken down, but you can break it down individually, and then we can add main menu. And one of the things I would add if I were TouchBistro is to lock this heading, because there's so much data on here, and if I'm scrolling down and I'm seeing where tea is and what time they sell, I got to scroll all the way back up to see what time I'm in. So that's my suggestion to TouchBistro. Lock these headings that have a lot of data, but you can see how much data there is in this whole heat map thing with the drill down report. And then speaking of heat map, this is broken down by time of day. You saw something similar back in the weekly targets report. It had a little overview of average spend. So this is the money that's spent during this time of the day. You can see there's nothing until noon, broken down by the days of the week. Sunday's really light all day. Monday has a hot beginning. Obviously, Monday night's tough. That might be when you need to run a promo. You can see some hot spots in here. So again, it's just a heat map to show you when the sales are hot, when they're not, so you can plan for things. And again, it breaks it down by here. I like to double click, put the highest ones on top, work all the way down, and see what your hottest days are and what they're not, so you can make adjustments here. And now let's head to the sales breakdown on these reports. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drop downs under sales. I'm going to move through it pretty quick here. Again, if you want to schedule a demo with a TouchBistro rep, just click on the link below the video. It will take you right there. They're awesome there. Or if you want to pause the video and check out any of these numbers, you can. But I'm just going to move through really quick and show you all the stuff it has on here. Again, sales by menu category. It's going to have a bar chart broken down from most to least right here. And again, like I mentioned earlier, the menu category, all this over here is going to default to alphabetizing these. I like to go find the gross sales. I'm going to click once. That's least to most. I like to click twice, so we have the most top sellers on top, just like they're lined up in the bar chart here. You can do up to 100 entries per page. That's up to you. And then I haven't mentioned yet that you can download any of these to an Excel report at any time and send them to people, store them in the files, whatever you want to do. So now we can see the mains, the appetizers, the beer, the exact order they're up here. If we go to sales by menu item, this is all the items inside your TouchBistro here, and you can see how many bars there are now. And again, I'm going to go find the gross sales here and click twice. Now they're lined up with these up here. We got our bacon burger, pulled pork, pasta and clams up top. Those are probably going to stay on the menu, unless, of course, it's costing you a lot of money. If your bacon burger is making you $1 per burger, you're going to want to get rid of it. It's very important that you item cost everything and make sure you put your most profitable menu items on there and not just your most gross sales. That does you no good. We're putting dollars in the bank, not based on gross sales, but your profitability. Now, if we go to sales by section, again, this is just based on the cash registers or the area within your bar. These little bar things are kind of cool because you can break it down. Like if you don't really care about what takeout's all about, I can click on this, it'll take takeout out and it'll give you the rest of it in there, or you can click it and put it back on. Cool little feature. Sales by order type. I like this one because you can see your dine-in, your bar, and your delivery or takeout. You know, a lot of places aren't doing delivery, but some are. Most of your sit-downs aren't, but a lot of places do delivery. And you can do your takeout here and see how much you're doing. Again, if I take one of these off, the dine-in takes up a lot of room. So if I click on that, we can break, these become bigger so we can really analyze. And you can see we did a ton of takeout on March 8th. I don't know what that's for. Maybe it's March Madness. Maybe there's a lot of takeout that day, but you can really break it down and you can always click it back on. Again, I'm going to, this is by date here, so you don't have to worry about that alphabetization there. Sales by category. Here again, food, alcohol, merchandise, gift cards. I'm going to find my gross sales, double click, food's on top. We know that already. We know we're selling a lot of food, that we need to sell more alcohol to get our profit better. And that's all your sales section category. And I went through it really quick, but it really breaks down exactly what's going on based on what's rung up by your servers and bartenders, what your top sellers are, what your least sellers are, so you can move those off the menu and really analyze a lot of the data in here. And then for these last reports, I'm just going to hit the highlights there. You know, the sales reports are kind of the main attraction, so I'm just going to touch on the highlights over here, leave a little meat on the bone. This is just an overview, kind of show you what is in the back end and how cool it is. If we go to discounts and voids, we go to the summary. What's great about the discounts and voids section is you can see if things are going wrong. You can see the special here. If it's specials or you're doing comps like that, that's no big deal. Again, I would go by discount void quantity, so click it twice to get the biggest one on top, and you can see the Monday through Thursday app special has the most, then your VIP. Third is mistake though. So if you have a lot of mistakes, and I'm going to show you in the item summary, you can spot what has the most mistakes. We can go to sales category summary. Again, broken down by alcohol or food. We can see food has the most. That's mainly because of that app special you're doing. But if you have happy hour with alcohol, that will show up in here. Menu sales item summary. And you can see all the individual items broken down by comps. And again, once again, I'm going to go to the most on top. And you can see the top 4 are the special. So, no big deal that these are being comped so much. But then you get down to VIP. There's a mistake down here for the pulled pork sandwich or whatever it is. There's only 2 showing up here, but let's say there's 8 or 10 on there. You need to go find out, are the cooks cooking it wrong? Do the guests not like it? Do you need to take it off the menu? So you can spot where these discounts and comps are taking place and what's going wrong. For labor, it has your hours summary broken down by individual. See how many hours they work, what you're paying them, shift details. Again, this is when they clocked in, when they clocked out, what their hourly rate is. You can see their duration. Did they get overtime? You can spot that right here. And you can also spot that in the overtime summary, overtime details. Who's getting overtime? How much overtime did I pay? Why are they getting overtime? We need to cut that down. You have regular hours and overtime hours right here. Obviously, you need to cut down the overtime hours as much as you can. If we go into the staff, again, individual staff on discounts and voids is very important. Who has the most voids and comps and things going wrong? And again, if we go by quantity, there's not that many quantity in this demo part, so there's only like 1 per person. If you find 1 person that has a lot of discounts and comps, mistakes going on, they need to be trained better. We talked about that earlier. Payments and tips, I'm not going to cover that, or gratuity, any of that. That's all in here. Menu sales items, you can see who's selling what, the number that they're selling, how many they're selling of each item. Tips by payment. We'll go into the audit really quick. Payments is just whether they paid by cash or credit card. Gratuity, tax summary. I like the bills section. The bills report, most legacy systems, you go into the back end and you look up and you just get a line of data and it has like how much the bill was for and which credit card they used. You don't hardly get any data in there to see who, you're looking up a credit card number. Was it that person? I can't remember. This gives you the actual bill right here. So you can go back and look at some of these. Oh yeah, that guy. I remember him now. He had sweet potato fries, house salad. You can go on the bill and actually see the receipt. How cool is that? And then, with outstanding balance, payment details. With the payment details, it's going to bring up the bill number right here. So if you need to search for something, you can search in the search bar by bill number or by server name to spot them really quick. And then the last thing on here at the report, you have scheduled report, which is great because people at the end of the week or the end of the month need to receive these reports. You can schedule reports to go out, and here you generate the report, so you can turn all these reports on or off, which reports you want to generate, and then run them. And you can schedule this, and then you can, on the recipients down here, you can enter recipients to receive these reports on a specific date. Really cool. You can just have those sent out, specific reports. Maybe, there's some people that you don't want them to see all the reports. So just select the ones you want up here and then generate reports and on and off on who receives what. So that's really cool. So that, again, flew through the last part pretty quick just because it's a lot of back end with the payments and the tips and the gratuity. You don't really need to see all that. I know you probably want to see the sales dashboard. The last thing I am going to show you that I really love is if you go home. Oh, again, if you go home and want to look this up on your computer, that's the other thing, is you don't just have to have it in your back office like you do with some of the legacy systems. You can look it up on any computer. You're on vacation, log into your account anywhere at any time and you can get it, but you can also do it on your phone. So at any time you wake up in the morning, you're out somewhere and you're in your car and you want to look it up, check this out. All you got to do, get on your phone here, hit the reports to go. If you download this at the App Store, there's your reports right there. You just log in and you can just view your daily reports right there from the phone, whether you're lying in bed or you're on the beach. This is awesome. Love this. So you can just do all your reports on the go. And that's going to do it for your cloud reporting for TouchBistro. I'm super impressed with the system. It's why I'm doing this. From the iPad side of it and everything it can do, all the way to this cloud reporting and this back end, and how detailed the reports are, and yet how easy it is to understand them. Anyone can look at these and see what's going on in their bar and restaurant. It's not complicated. Some of the legacy systems, it's hard to even figure out how to run a report, let alone read them. So I love this system. And make sure, again, to click the link below and head to Touch Bistro and talk to a rep. You got nothing to lose by just going through a demo with them and seeing what they can do for your business. So that's going to do it for the day. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to see you next time. If you have any questions at all, make sure to email me at dave@therealbarman.com, and I'm going to see you next time. I'm out.